Now, a First Alert Weather Breakdown. First Alert Weather Day Special Edition with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Welcome on to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. We'll get to myself here in just a moment, but this is new here at 10:30. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch that's been issued by the National Weather Service about 1 hour ago. This has been put in place for the majority of our East Texas counties, including including Marion, Harrison counties, and pretty much every county in East Texas, from Mount Pleasant all the way down to Nacogdoches County in East Texas. Notice how this severe thunderstorm watch does go all the way out towards Dallas, but does not go past East Texas for now. This is not in effect, I do repeat, this is not in effect for Shreveport and Bossier and for Texarkana yet, but that could change later on as we carry on through the morning hours. So we're going to be continuing to watch that for the rest of the day today. It's the start of a very rainy and soaked ArkLaTex here for the day today. Welcome on to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. I am meteorologist Evan Thomason. Thank you for joining us on the First Alert Weather Breakdown, First Alert Weather Day. So we're tracking all the severe storms again, maneuvering all around the ArkLaTex. We have the latest on the forecast. We have the latest on the current radar picture that's out right now, because there's still plenty of storms that are roaming the ArkLaTex now. There was storms as early as 1 to 2 in the morning. They pretty much started to form in the overnight hours. Granted, most of them were stray in the early morning, but we've slowly built up the coverage ever since then, and now we're starting to get more of a thorough line of more isolated groups of rain showers, I'd call it, around the ArkLaTex for now, but it's going to lead into severe, scattered, and widespread storms later on today. So first of all, I want to thank those of you watching, period, but thanks especially to those of you watching on our Facebook page. If you didn't know we were streaming on Facebook, now you know. We are streaming on Facebook just for today. We essentially only stream our First Alert Weather Day edition of First Alert Weather Breakdown on our Facebook feed to show it over to you guys over there. The point is, if you want to watch on Facebook or YouTube, you can feel free to leave a comment or question, and I can answer that. I can answer them at any point in the time during this podcast. Most of the questions, just so you know, will be answered after the forecast. But I can go ahead and say hi to Regina. Hello. Also, Courtney asks about Stonewall area tornadoes. Stonewall is not looking like a slim chance of a tornado. I wouldn't say zero. I will not say zero at all, but the tornado threat is kind of a side effect for today. It could happen, but it's not the thing that's mainly it's not the thing really having the most concern here for the day today. I give it a slim risk of tornadoes here, especially for those of you in the southern half of the ArkLaTex. It could still happen, but is it likely? Not really. We're going to go into the full forecast here for you coming on up. So also thanks to those of you, again, watching on YouTube as well. Just kind of clicked on that feed, making sure you guys and your stream is running okay. All right, so again, First Alert Weather Day. It is in effect here for the day today, and that's all we're going over. This stream will cut off at 10:55, just so you know. There will be something coming on right after this at 11 o'clock that will be live streaming separately here at KSLA.com, and for those of you watching on the live stream. So we got another 22 minutes to go over plenty of info, answer your questions. Let's get to the forecast first and foremost, because then I might answer your questions, and then I will go to specific questions from there. All right. So let's get back to the graphics and go into several things. Again, also, just so you know, for those of you watching on Facebook for the very first time and have no idea what this is about, essentially we take the weather forecast from the news show and expand on it. Just so you know, during a main weather forecast, I only have time for somewhere in the ballpark of 5 to 6 graphics in a main weather segment. I have time for, say, like 10 to 11 to 12 graphics in here. It's almost like double the coverage, double the weather, all compacted in one. I think you get the point. Anyways, it has rained in Bossier a little earlier on this morning. It was kind of a brief rain shower about an hour to 2 hours ago. Some of that's starting to dry up a little bit. And we're dry here for the moment in Shreveport, Bossier area, but that's not going to last much longer here for the day today. Let's look at current conditions around the ArkLaTex. A whole lot of cloud cover, but it looks like most of the rain is kind of just isolated in little portions of the region around our local towns here. But again, you've certainly noticed a good amount of cloud cover, gloomy skies, good amount of humidity. Notice it's cool, however, upper 60s for most of us, and the temperatures are going to stay that way. Let's talk about temperatures here in just a moment. I want to go over the headline again here for the day today. We do have severe storms that will be lasting all day long. It's going to make probably our main threat here for today, flash flooding. Go ahead and give that away to you. Mainly watching out for a torrential downpour continuing on for most of the daytime hours. I don't think this is going to start to dwindle down until the nighttime frame. So again, temperature 69 in Texarkana. We're still in the upper 50s in Idabel and DeQueen, 67 in Natchitoches, 64 in Marshall. These are your high temperatures today before we get to the storms. One of the very surprising underlying headlines of today is just how cool it's going to be around the ArkLaTex. I know we're already up to 70 in Shreveport, and our projected high technically was 69, but you get the point. It's not going to warm up that much at all for the afternoon hours. A much cooler day is in store here, even for the afternoon. Highs limited to around 70 degrees. It's not really even a t-shirt and shorts kind of day. All right, so here's our IR satellite picture. This is a real pretty picture on our IR satellite. You can see the whole plume of moisture there, almost call it a fire hydrant, if you will. It's forming storms mainly in central Texas, and they're continuing to rapidly go up north and east, and we're at the leading edge of that system. So you notice some billowing cloud covers, especially in areas of East Texas that are quickly maneuvering eastward, and it's just going to continue to ramp up our storm coverage again as we carry on throughout the day today. So here is our current first alert Doppler picture. There's a 30-minute loop to let you know that most of those storms are going up to our north. As of right now, we'll go ahead and look at the southern half of the ArkLaTex because it's not really showing too much. Looks like maybe a brief little drizzle in the Texas Louisiana state line on western Sabine Parish, but that's all we're really seeing at all in the southern half of the ArkLaTex. All the action right now is on the northern end. Looks like we have some storms heading into Gilmer and Longview right now, but the storms currently in the ArkLaTex are stretching all the way from that ArkLaTex border up into Texarkana, the western edge of Texarkana, getting some heavy rain showers out right now, which is moving into the rest of the town right on top of Texarkana. Elsewhere, we have rain on top of Atlanta, the drive from US 59 from Atlanta to Texarkana. Got storms all the way stretched out westward towards New Boston. McCurtain County's getting soaked. DeQueen's about to get rained on in the next couple of minutes, as well as Ashdown. And this line overall from New Boston to Idabel, again, as I've kind of mentioned earlier, that's moving into Texarkana right now, is continuing to move up north and east up towards southwestern Arkansas. So that's the storms currently. We have two different local short-term future tracks to go over. So for the next hour or two, we're continuing to form storms, and I'm mainly watching out for that main line of scattered storm activity and widespread storms, which really starts to hit areas of East Texas in the next, I'd probably say next 2 hours or so. Then it moves into Shreveport, and yes, back again into Texarkana. Looks like around 1, 2 o'clock, and then once it starts, it's going to be hard to stop. This heavy rain could be lingering on as late as the evening commute home. Look at Natchitoches, Minden just starting to get the leading edge of that storm coverage on through. Meanwhile, we could still have storms on top of Nacogdoches and Shreveport all the way into the afternoon and evening commute home. So again, most of the focus on this future track shows these storms moving through the afternoon hours period before finally slowly starting to see that storm coverage diminish into the nighttime hours. Looks like we're fully done once we head into the overnight. But still, some lingering showers could stick around in Natchitoches as late as 10 o'clock tonight before have a few storms in for the next 2 days, but nothing too crazy. All right, so now let's look at the future track on our other short-term model, which is already picking up as we've kind of seen a few cells forming across the region. This is going to be reaching Texarkana, first of all, in the next few minutes, and this could be continuing around Texarkana, still up into the lunch time frame. Meanwhile, Shreveport-Bossier, we're dry for now, but again, we're expecting plenty of storms that could start around, say, noon, 1 o'clock, kind of similar to that other future track to kind of confirm the timing of things heading into Shreveport and Bossier. So it starts around noon, 1 o'clock again, and it continues to stick around. Look at 3 p.m., still 2 hours later, and we're still underneath that heavy rainfall coverage. Staying stuck on top of Shreveport and Bossier. and some of that could even be dwindling still up until 5 p.m. tonight. So again, the biggest issue, especially with rain stuck in the same area for a significant amount of time, is going to be flash flooding in throughout these areas. Some of these storms could continue on late, and this future track's even tracking on to a few pop-up cells late in the night time frame that could even hit areas of the northern half of the ArkLaTex before finally drying on up. All right, so that was a look at the timing. Let's look at some of the characteristics with these storms themselves before we get into specific questions. All right, so again, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 4 p.m. This was just put out by the National Weather Service, again, about an hour ago. That's in effect for the majority of our East Texas counties from Mount Pleasant all the way down to Nacogdoches. Now, the severe risks here with our storms today, I kind of already hinted at this. It's mostly circulating around flash flooding, which we are going to talk about a lot here in just a moment. But to go over quickly the other severe weather risks, we do have a chance of hail, strong winds, and yes, we do have a chance at tornadoes. Now, I do mention a chance. Today's focus is not on the tornadoes. It could happen. We'll get into where it could happen here in just a little bit, but so it's certainly not a zero risk. That's what I'm trying to get at, but it's not the greatest risk here for the day today. Now let's talk flash flooding again, because this is my main issue because of what's been popping up on some of our rain models, which we'll get to here in just a moment. This is put out by the Storm Prediction Center. They always have this on a 4 scale. You see the 4 scales in your top right hand of your screen. Green is in the marginal risk. Slight risk is at a level 2, essential level 2 of flash flooding. Basically, anywhere in the green, period, or any shade, period, has a chance of flash flooding here today. Now, we're expecting slight risks of flash flooding, meaning a good amount of puddles around, but nothing too crazy that'll flood out or close any streets. If you're in the red, that's what we're watching out for. Flooded streets, which could close roadways. Anywhere in the red, which is, if you notice, a significant portion of the ArkLaTex. It's anywhere south of Mount Pleasant and Magnolia. Overall, it's pretty much anywhere south of I-30, which, again, is the bulk of the ArkLaTex. That definitely includes Shreveport. Bossier, Nacogdoches, and Natchitoches here for the day today, all included under that. I-20 could be a mess. It's going to be a mess wherever you go underneath that region. And here is why. This is the future rainfall from today alone. In fact, I'm going to hide my face so you see the full, all the rain totals, including the rain total around Natchitoches. Essentially, if you're along or south of I-20, you are getting at least 2 inches of rain, which, first of all, if you get an inch of rain, period, that is a large amount. You're getting 2, 3, almost 5 inches of rain. You see that towards Nacogdoches. You could get as much as 5 inches of rain, yes, localized in a few areas, which is going to cause torrential downpours. Keep in mind that we're already in a soaked environment. 3 days of dry weather was not enough to help dry our ground out much. So we're dealing with lots of areas of flash flooding because the ground can only hold so much, and especially with those low-lying streets, watch out for that. All right. Flood watch in effect. This is our flash flood watch, essentially in effect for the entire ArkLaTex. Again, this goes all the way technically until tomorrow early morning. So watch out at any point of the day today here for areas, especially low-lying ones here throughout the ArkLaTex. Now, let's talk about other things besides flash flooding. Again, as we kind of mentioned, there are other risks such as hail, strong winds, and tornadoes. All 3 of those risks are covered in this map. This is the chance or risk of anything else besides flash flooding pretty much showing up. Thankfully, a marginal risk does cover half of the ArkLaTex. And technically, yes, Shreveport, if I can go ahead and zoom into Shreveport, Shreveport is technically in that marginal risk. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know why the text of Shreveport is technically south of where Shreveport is. But essentially, the downtown Shreveport-Bossier area technically is barely in a marginal risk. That's not the main point here for the day today. The main point is if you're south of I-20, you pretty much have a chance at getting onto the hail, strong winds, and tornadic activity. Also, for those in that tan shade, you have more of a greater chance of getting all 3 of things of what I just said as well. In fact, if you want to literally just talk tornadoes, anybody that has a color on their map technically has a chance of receiving tornadoes today. Now, the greatest chance of tornadoes is in the yellow shade, which does cover Nacogdoches and technically the southern edge of the ArkLaTex here for today. So I'd watch out, especially if you're Sabine Parish, Nacogdoches County, those areas, again, along the southern border of the ArkLaTex. If you're in the tan shade, I think you have a low chance of getting a tornado today, but I wouldn't expect it. If you're in the green, that's the maximum of how far north the tornado can go, but it's unlikely to hit Shreveport and Bossier here for the day today. So that's what we're watching out for. Now, let me give you good news. I know this stream has been all doom and gloom, talking about the storms, but thankfully, after today, the severe weather is gone. We do have more storms hitting us Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, actually, which is going to be, yes, gross, but the severe weather chance, thankfully, greatly diminishes once we get through these storms today. So, last graphic before the 7-day forecast and before I start to answer any questions. This is, let me go ahead and get rid of my face here. This is the greatest chance of storms for specific locations. Now, if you notice, we already do have plenty of storms hitting areas out towards Mount Pleasant, Texarkana currently at this time frame. That indicates and kind of validates this forecast. So the greatest chance of storms here for the day today. Now, again, storms are possible even into tonight, even now in other areas of the ArkLaTex. So yes, we're watching out for that. But again, this time frame kind of shows you the most widespread and the most severe storms coming on through. When that's expected, for example, in Shreveport, that's expected anywhere between noon and 5 p.m. In Natchitoches, that's expected anywhere between 2 and 7 p.m. So coming up fairly soon here. All right, let's get a quick look at the 7-day forecast here, and then we'll toss it over to questions after a brief break. I know I got to leave here at 10:55, but I'm going to take a brief break after this. Again, first alert weather day today. More rain possible Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Beautiful weekend ahead. I know you're going to be upset with me again about more rain and rain coming, but hey, at least we're keeping these weekends not only nice and sunny, but look at the temperature high back up to 80 degrees. It's almost a carbon copy of last weekend, which is great. It looks like we have more sunshine in store for next work week. Again, I'm going to take a quick 1-minute break, commercial break, and I'll be back. I'll be answering questions for essentially about 10 minutes, and I'll have to hop off for another live stream here on KSLA News 12 on the live stream. I'll be back in here in just a moment. Stick with us, and I'll answer questions after this. All right, welcome back to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. Again, thanks for those of you who joined on our YouTube and Facebook feeds. Really appreciate it all the time. So, I'm going to go back to the comments here in just a moment. As I do, I'm just going to leave the radar picture up here for you guys in just a moment. I'm going to go to the radar picture first and then start answering questions so you have something to look at in the background here rather than just looking at me talking. So there's the radar picture. I'm going to leave this on now. So it's just a freeze frame essentially. And again, most of the storms currently are in the northern half of the ArkLaTex. All right, let's go to comments as far north as I can go. Oh, it looks like somebody spammed the chat. I see that on our Facebook feed. Scotty, will storms hit Carthage? Yes, they will. Yes, just a little bit. Just give it another hour or two, and trust me, they will. I'm sorry, just so you know, I cannot see comments earlier than 7 minutes ago. So if you asked a comment about 7 minutes or later ago, so to speak, I cannot see it. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, I didn't realize how much he spammed the chat. I'm sorry. All right. I think Lewis, I think Texarkana is going to get more rain than what is showing there. Potentially. Yeah, I know some of the rain totals had Texarkana more towards only like an inch of rain, which first of all, don't get me wrong, an inch is still a lot of rain. In fact, as you see on the first alert Doppler radar, you're getting rained on right now. But I mean, some localized areas, even as far north as Texarkana, yeah, can get as much as 2, 3, 4 inches of rain. The point is, plural inches of rain that could shut down roadways. That's not good. That's not what we want to see at all. All right. So first of all, yes, I see Scotty spam the chat. I'm sorry about that. But thankfully, it's not happening anymore. So feel free again to re-ask your questions. I'm so sorry about that. Let me get on to the next thing. Anyways, next question here. But yeah, all right. Glinda, it was light raining in Minden earlier. Yes, thank you for the report. Yeah, I saw that earlier. Looks like that was associated with that line that's now north of Ruston and headed up towards southwestern Arkansas. But again, plenty more storms for you today. How bad in Sabine? Asked Bo. Well, again, if you're in Sabine, you're kind of in the worst area of the ArkLaTex. Oh, I don't know why I laughed. Sorry, I did not mean to joke there about that for a second. So for Sabine, let me go back to the risk here for the day today. So let's go back to our day one risk. Again, the flash flooding issues. Actually, before I go back to this, let me show you this. The flash flooding risk is for pretty much the bulk of the ArkLaTex. But if you're getting like something on top of the flash flooding here for the day today, it's going to be areas of Sabine Parish, which is underneath that enhanced risk here for this afternoon. And that's where you could see on top of the flash flooding, you could see the tornadic cell, you could see the chance of hail and strong winds coming on through on top of the heavy rain, which is yuck. That's the worst of the worst, unfortunately, is coming for you around that region. Linda, will Logan Sport get rain or storms? Yes, they will. Yes, everybody will be seeing storms here for the day today. I know if you haven't seen much yet today, you're like, oh, wow, that was nothing. First alert weather day. What for? Well, just wait until the afternoon, okay? Just wait until the afternoon, all right? Briggs, when will it reach Shreveport? Let me go over the future track here one more time. Let's go over future track one more time here. So, again, storms continuing. Actually, let's not do this one. I'm going to do the other one because this future track updates every hour, believe it or not. So, if I can go back all the way, thank you. So, as of right now, most of the storms are hanging off into East Texas here for the time being. Looks like it reaches Shreveport, and both future tracks are kind of in agreement with one another, which is good. Storms start to hit Shreveport more towards around noon, 1 o'clock. So, essentially in about an hour or two. So, if you're out and around running errands right now, might want to get them done and plan on getting them done again within the next hour before this heavy rain starts. And then again, once it starts, it's going to carry on throughout most of the afternoon there, and unfortunately maybe all the way until 4 or 5 o'clock until the rain finally starts to let on up. All right. What about Mansfield? Same thing. Mansfield, I know you're in DeSoto Parish, but it's kind of the same timing for you guys, mainly for the afternoon hours. Can we see precision cast for Shreveport Bossier? I kind of just showed that. Chris, latest HRR run showing the highest rainfall amounts over North Louisiana. Yes. It's almost like you're getting these northerly bands coming on through, and then the rain's just stuck here into the afternoon, which is not good across most of northwest Louisiana. Yeah. So. Anyways, thank you. You're welcome. Anytime. Any comments on our YouTube live stream, just out of curiosity? No, we do not have any. I have about 2 to 3 more minutes to answer anything else really quickly. Yeah, so please, just so you know, for future advice, again, don't spam the chat. Do not spam the chat, all right? I know you're trying to get your question out. You really want it answered, but again, especially if you clearly see me not answering comments and questions, then you can feel free to wait, so to speak. Anyways, all right. So anyways, again, we got storms continuing on in the areas around Texarkana and East Texas here for now. But you look out towards Dallas and Fort Worth, yuck. That's what's coming this way. Again, that's almost a wall of rain, and it's going to continue to grow in size, especially as the daytime heating takes over. Now, I will say what you're thinking. Now, what you might be thinking as well is, well, Evan, what daytime heating? It's not supposed to heat up today. Well, the sunlight's still going to help it out above the surface, essentially, and still heat up our storms above the surface. So, yeah. All right. So, again, we're going to go ahead and shut this baby down. Thanks for your questions. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this information. If you're looking forward to if you're looking forward to another weather update. Now, first of all, before I get to that, if you want to track on the own weather yourself, weather app. That's the perfect thing to do. You can just stare at that all day long and stare at the radar, which is going to be a handy tool for the storms coming in and out of the region here throughout the day today. But if you want our next weather update period, that will be coming up on our noon show. Noon show will give you the next weather update. That'll be with meteorologist Austin Evans in just over an hour away. Of the latest radar picture, what we're showing here for the rest of this afternoon. He'll take care of you guys then. Again, biggest thing to watch out for the storms before it in the stream is street flooding. Huge, vast amounts of it expected here throughout the afternoon. And speaking of the afternoon, again, it's already 11 a.m. Especially in areas like Shreveport and Bossier, you just got an hour or two before the storms are going to be complete blanket across the ArkLaTex, all right? So watch out, pay attention to those streets, and if you don't have to be out on them, please don't, because I know some people, not everybody is going to be in the know-how and the all-know to these storms coming on through, okay? So stay weather aware with us here at KSLA News 12. We'll have another episode coming up on the First Alert Weather Breakdown here for tomorrow at 10:30. We'll probably be just recapping what happened today. Stay weather aware, obviously, throughout the rest of your day. Thanks for joining us on First Alert Weather Breakdown. I will see you guys later, again tomorrow. Stay safe, especially out on those flooded roadways, please. All right? Again, we'll see. Austin, we'll see you at noon with the latest info. Have a great rest of your day. And again, keep yourself safe. Peace.